Here to talk about GameGuru Max. Waited 4 years in development for this game engine to see how far they got, how far it matured as a game engine and long in its development. And from what I have tested out, looked at, and played around with since I got this game engine back in January, it seems like a decent game engine so far. It's an upgrade compared to GameGuru and FPS Creator, of course. But one of the things that I like about this game engine is the graphics. I think they did a better job with the graphics using the Wicked Engine graphic system. Seems very good. Now compared to, let's see, this is GameGuru Max. That's FPS Creator. And this is GameGuru. So the same model and all three of these engines. And I mean, graphically, I really do like GameGuru Max and how all the characters and models look. I think the graphic fidelity is way better this time around. As you can see in the comparisons of the model, how the graphics look. Oh, the model looks different. I mean, right here with the FPS Creator, it does look, I guess you can say, better. Some would say under the light map and everything. But there's a lot more detail here under Max, where the model really looks more realistic. And then of course GameGuru, it just those GameGuru graphics, and this is using the PBR, but the PBR difference between GameGuru and GameGuru Max, it's a huge difference overall. Now going into the engine, I need to check out this character. So I like how the way this game engine really does replicate what the character really looks like. Like the model exactly looks the way it's supposed to look. There's no detail really left out. And what's really great about it this time around, also the engine lighting. The lighting is so much better in GameGuru Max, which I wish that GameGuru originally had better lighting overall, the dynamic lighting and the static lighting. Now this time around, GameGuru Max doesn't have light map, which is another plus. It's pretty much GameGuru Max is everything that went wrong with GameGuru that TGC has done right in GameGuru Max. But the lighting was one of the biggest problems with GameGuru. But the lighting here in Max is so much better. And it reminds me of like how the lighting was, the light mapping was in FPS Creator. But here there's no light maps. And Lee did one of the things that I remember trying to email about, and that was if there was a way to basically just make lights static without using light map, which I come to find out that that's what Max has now. It has the dynamic lighting and the static lighting. Let me see. Turn off the grid. But yeah, it has the dynamic and the static lighting. Where you can choose between static and dynamic. See, then that's the static lighting, and that's the dynamic lighting, which is really cool. Something I wish he did do in GameGuru, and just remove the light map altogether, which the light map was just horrible. Things just did not look right under light mapping. But another cool thing is the interface here. I believe the interface is way better in Max. Not just professional look wise, but just way better. I really enjoy navigating around this new setup that they got going on here. But these are pretty much all the pros of the engine. I think the engine is way better this time around than it was with GameGuru. But one of the things I do hate about GameGuru Max, I think it was a waste of development. The biggest problem with GameGuru Max is the VR. I think VR was a waste of development. I see no point of bringing VR into the engine so early. One of the things I would have wished have been in development instead of VR would have been third person. I think third person would have made more sense overall, right along with first person. VR is more like a gimmick type of feature for a game engine. And I mean, there's other game engines that has VR, but they are way more advanced and far along in development, where GameGuru Max is still somewhere needs more development. It's still at its beginning stages. But between that and of course the bug fixes, and they're working on the performance, I just think the main feature that should have been implemented into this engine is third person right along with the first person. I think the VR is more like a gimmick. It doesn't really work out. I mean, GameGuru actually has VR in it, but the VR was basically disabled. And nobody wasn't really asking for VR with GameGuru, and pretty much I don't know who was asking for it and for GameGuru Max, or why was this a big deal in the advertisement to think VR was going to be the selling point for this game engine. The truth of the matter is, it's not really much of a selling point, and it's not really the highlight of this game engine overall. But also, what I would like to see in the engine that should have been implemented in the engine, as far as effects goes, something like laser guns, lasers, things that were, I guess you could say, was promised before in GameGuru, but I don't know, never really came to fruition. But above that, a lot of things has been improved between GameGuru and GameGuru Max. But overall, one of the cool things about this engine is the script system. It has all these new scripts and everything. Let's see. I mean, like the script system, this one works basically for the custom characters. But most likely everything seems to be hard-coded into the engine as far as it goes with the stock model characters. Stock model characters, everything seems to work well with the stock model characters better, but that's like the same way GameGuru started out. But the engine seems to work better with those with custom characters. There seem to be a bit of problems here and there, glitches, but above that, the AI is way better this time around. The characters can actually run up stairs and everything, and so on. So I'll demonstrate it with this character. This is like one of the coolest things that I like. Is that the engine? It seems like, I don't know. Yeah, there. This is where GameGuru fell short with issues like this in the beginning. But I guess, yeah, the engine has a new Pathfinder. Just really cool. But one of the problems that I find wrong is basically it's older models. So the older models don't really work that well. So this is what happened with the older models. They basically run in place. They can't really move. And then you have to use this thing called force move. But when you force move them, they're kind of like a bull charging at you. So like in a corridor or something, this would work. In a narrow space. But see, the Pathfinder is really off. It's terrible. It makes no sense. But above that, everything else seems to be working out pretty good with this engine. It seems to be a decent engine. And I think it did a better job compared to GameGuru. But at this point, GameGuru just seems like a lot of things is wrong with GameGuru. Even though a lot of things has been improved, there's a lot of things that are broken with the engine. And even with the shader system, there's a lot of things broken with GameGuru, where the engine just can't really fix between the PBR shader system and the old shader system. And it seems like the older shader system kind of somewhat been completely removed, but not really. It just seems like it's a bug with the shader system altogether with GameGuru. But this is where GameGuru Max shines and doesn't have those same issues, and hopefully won't have those same issues later on in development. But above that, GameGuru Max is a great engine for what it's starting out, but I really wish they just didn't bother with VR at all. To me, it's just a gimmick, and it's a pointless feature in the beginning of the engine. I believe you should want the engine to, the most important thing you should want is for people to develop a game, to develop between a first person and a third person game. It makes more sense. The whole VR gimmick doesn't make any sense. Not everyone owns a VR or cares to even use VR that much. Between consoles have VR, you can play VR and anything, but this is supposed to be a game engine where you can develop your own game and either, I guess, give it away for free, upload it, or sell your game, do whatever. The idea around it is pretty cool, and it's easy to use and so on. But the biggest mistake here is the VR. I believe other things could have been implemented into the game engine that would have got it a lot further along than VR instead. But above that, it's just my opinion. Overall, that's what I think about this game engine so far.